What up, everybody? Happy Monday. It is the In Off the Bench Podcast Network's Grid and Grind Show. I'm your host, Daniel Ball, and we got a great episode to kick off the week. We got Sam Secord of the South Beach Palms. She'll be stopping by to talk to us a little bit about her story, her journey through Grid, and we got to get into the season. The schedules have dropped. There's a lot of trolling going on, a lot of chirping going on, and we just got to kind of get her perspective and where she is and where she sits in regards to the 2025 United Grid League season. But before Sam joins us, the Grid and Grind Show is brought to you by Jesus One Apparel, empowering men, women, and children to chase their faith and take that bold step according to John 16:33. Jesus won and continues to win each and every day. Chinook Seedery, 8 flavors, mild to wild. Stop by your local gas station, convenience store, grocery store. Go to the snack aisle and pick up the best sunflower seeds in the game. And Old Dominick Distillery, experience 150 years of tradition in the heart of downtown Memphis, from bourbon to vodka, whiskey to gin. Old Dominick's got you covered. Stop in today for a tour or to pick up your favorite bottle. And with that, we get to get this week off and popping. Help me welcome onto the show the Sam Secord. Sam, what is up? How we doing?
Woo! How you doing? I'm good.
Good. It is, for those that are doing the audio, let me set the tone for you. Sam hops in and she's just pouring sweat. She just came from a workout. So, it's either, I either thought one of two things. You just got off work and you're fighting fires, or you were working out. So it is the latter. But with you, what was the workout that you did prior to hopping on? What were you working on?
Today I've been doing, I don't necessarily follow one program. I kind of go back and forth, but the workout I got today was from Sentinel. I don't know if you've heard of that programming, but the workout that I just did was 5 sets, 9 strict pull-ups, 21 lateral burpees over a dumbbell, and then 12 dumbbell snatch with a 60. So for guys, 80, and for guys also it's 12 strict pull-ups. So you do that, you rest 2 minutes in between each set. 5
Wow.
times.
Wow. I did the main site workout today. It was nice. 5, I turned them into strict pull-ups. It was a 12-minute AMRAP, 5 strict pull-ups, 10 knees to elbow, and then get this, 15 goblet squats. So, the goblet squats and the knees to elbow are two things that, you might see a goblet squat occasionally, but it's not something I'm going to program for myself. And I sure as hell am not going to do a whole lot of knees to elbow. And today it was very, very different feeling. I think very odd to have those movements back to back, but a good workout nonetheless. But with you, let's get into this. Obviously, I look through socials and there's a lot of photos of you working out in the gym, doing your thing, which is what we would expect. But there's also a lot of photos of you at work with the full garb on, whole firefighter kit on, doing your thing. What is it like knowing that when you wake up on any given day, you're going to have to either sacrifice your life or save someone else's? Like, that's got to be kind of this bittersweet feeling, but like, what is it like actually when you wake up every morning knowing that?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I don't think everyone, like, I'm talking about firefighters in the career. I don't think people wake up thinking like that. Like, that's not an everyday thought until it gets real and you're like, oh, you know what I mean? So it's definitely like, I've had moments where I'm like, damn, this might be it. But I think the best way to go about it is just like being in the moment, live in the moment. I try not to, I obviously put my best foot forward and I give 110%. But I don't try not to think about like those types of things,
Gotcha.
like I'm not like a positive person all the time, but I definitely try to have a positive outlook.
Yeah. I think you don't want to, like, any job that anyone has, you don't like to probably think about what is the worst thing that could happen, and let's think about that today,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, I always like, I love training, obviously, and I always think like you trained for this, like you. And there's people, in any job that they secure their position and then they get comfortable,
Right.
so that's definitely something that I try to avoid. I always want to keep learning. I always want to expand my knowledge and definitely like put my body under and mentally under some type of stress. um,
Right.
so I stay prepared. That's
Well,
the idea.
I can see you're preparing yourself in multiple ways. You're preparing yourself for your professional career, but you're also preparing yourself for your training because I see you with the full firefighter suit on, the whole garb, everything. I don't even know how much it weighs, but it weighs a lot. And you're doing workouts in it. Like you're lunging and like doing burpees and like is that just a choice that you make, or you're like, you know what? I want to just make sure that when I do get in the moment at my job, like I know that I've overly trained for whatever's thrown at me.
Oh my, yeah, it's 1000% a choice. Like there's, and I'm a little insane for, I'm a little crazy, but it's definitely a choice. But I'd rather be over prepared than get caught with my pants down, is what we like to call it. So,
Yeah,
so I'd rather, I die in training than in real life.
absolutely.
So
When you look at the job at in and of itself, do you find CrossFit because of the job, or do you find CrossFit prior to getting the job?
I got into CrossFit like well before I even considered being a firefighter, but I met so many first responders, whether it be, cops, firefighters, corrections, whoever. Like I've met so many people um, through CrossFit that I just was drawn to that field. And when I started CrossFit, I was already an EMT in New York, so I kind of was heading in that direction.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that just like secured it for sure, and it got me ready. Like when I got hired, I felt in the best shape of my life, and CrossFit had definitely something to do with that. So
I'm sure there's like to finish the academy. I'm sure there's like some type of physical tests, right? There's got to be.
yeah, we have a couple different physical tests. The most common one would be the entrance PAT or PAT. Um, But aside from that, like once for my department, once you get hired, there's other physical tests that you have to pass within your like first year of training probation. Um, so there's a lot of different things thrown at you. So you just got to be able to adapt.
I feel like for those that CrossFit, like those tests that come up throughout the year, you're like, yes, that's what I want. Like you're like looking forward to those days. Unlike some people would be like, man, I can't stand having to do those type of physical,
Yeah,
tests.
I had a moment like that for sure. There was pull-ups. It was strict pull-ups, and we had to do as many as we could. And I was like, okay, like let's shock some people. So
Let's go.
yeah.
Let's go. So where does grid fall into this? Like, when did you learn about grid? Was it, I'm sure like you get into CrossFit and the spaces kind of intermingle with each other and you kind of float in, but how do you specifically run across grid and get started in grid?
Sure. I started CrossFit in 2014, so a long time ago, and the Pro Grid League was happening. And I was living in New York at the time. There was a team in New York, and someone from my gym was actually doing grid. So that's how I found out about it. And then the pro league, was no longer. So I thought, oh, that's it. Like I missed my chance to play grid.
Right.
And then I heard about it in Florida. I moved down here. I don't want to say for grid, but grid was definitely one of the reasons to move. And I've been playing ever since I moved here.
Now,
So
when you decided or when you said, well, I'm going to move, it, were you on a team? Did you make a team, or were you just confident enough in what you could do that I'll make a team when I get there?
I wasn't on a team. I kind of had high hopes on being on one of the teams in particular, but that didn't work out, which is totally fine. But I I just trusted my abilities, and I kind of like I just kept pursuing it. I
Right.
kept reaching out, kept talking to people, and I kept training really hard. I kept testing myself, and um, like anyone can do, say, 10 front squats at whatever weight, but do it over and over and over again. Eventually, you'll get faster.
Right.
So it was kind of one of those things, and I got lucky enough to be on one of the best teams in the league, which I still love them, although I'm not on their team. But
So that was the Sharks, right?
yeah,
So the first stint was how long when you first made the team with the Sharks? How long did you spend with them?
I was just on their team for the As One tournament. This was like
Okay.
during or right after during COVID. Um, so we didn't have a full season, just that like weekend tournament. Um, but like leading up to that, I was driving over. So their gym is 2 hours away. So I was driving over, practicing, driving back, driving over, practicing, driving back. So eventually I was like, all right, I can't do it anymore because it was just too much, 4 hours in a day of driving.
Right.
So it just became like too much. I have other things going on. So that's when I went to the Freaks.
Right. So the Freaks are in Miami, and that's currently at that time that's where you had taken a job, and you were all right. Um, and so what happens, and how long are you with the Freaks until it transitions again, and now you're going to the Palms?
Yeah, I was on the Freaks for 2 seasons, maybe three. I think two. I'm so terrible with like this timeline. I think I've been doing good for 6 or 7 years. 6 years, I think. But so I was on the Freaks for a couple seasons, and then the owner wanted to focus on other things, so the Freaks no longer existed, and that's when I went to the Palms.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What was that like? Was it just everyone on the Freaks just switched over to the Palms, or was it a whole new process of finding a whole new team to fill the Palms?
So the Freaks kind of scattered. Like some of us went here, some of us went there. Um, some people stopped doing grid altogether. I think for the other teams, it's beneficial to pick up people that have done grid before. You don't have to explain the rules, the
Yeah.
races, the movements. So it saves a lot of time for the other teams as well. So I think people tried to pick up as many of the Freaks as they could, but we all kind of like scattered. But
Makes sense.
I'm happy where I ended up for sure.
Yeah. And so now, since then, since you first migrated to the Palms, how long have you been with the Palms?
This year is going to be my fourth season.
Man, that's
Yeah.
you're a leader. You're a leader on the team. I
I'm pretty
mean,
sure that maybe it's 3, but I think it's 4.
either way, that's veteran, experience that when I talk to players, one of the big things they talk about is grid speed. And I think, Artur came on and he talked about grid speed and how different it is, and how as a rookie coming in, that's one of the things that you don't realize. You can do all this training and stuff and be super fast and efficient, but it doesn't mean anything until you actually get out there and you're having to move faster than you've ever moved before.
Right.
On top of the fact, like the range of motions and the standards, you got to hold those, in highlight, because
You're
any
riding that line.
yeah,
Like there's only so fast you can move before your form or your technique is compromised. So it's like you definitely have to ride that line.
yeah. So being with the Palms, do you feel like as an athlete you've progressed and you've gotten better and better, or you feel like it's a grind to maintain and stay like where you've been, which is at a high level, but obviously once you reach a certain level, it's like, well, it's like LeBron James, like how much better at basketball can that guy really get,
Right.
And
So
when you're there, like for you, how much better can you get? Have you been able to get better over the past 4 years?
yeah, for sure. I mean, I've had setbacks, like life happens when I got hired on my fire department. And so like I kind of had to take a little break from like doing CrossFit and grid and focus on that, so like I'm constantly like evolving or the good thing about grid, like as far as my performance, I've gotten better and maintained, I would say, my strength for at least 4 or 5 years, which
Nice.
is for me like a huge accomplishment because during COVID is when I got really, really strong. So, because all I was doing was lifting. But
Yeah.
so I've maintained my strength, and then on top of that, I'm pushing myself to do, different movements that I've never done before. And like when I started, I was a strength player, and now I'm more of a utility player because I've gotten like more well-rounded. So,
Right.
that's exciting, and it's just there. There's flows to it, ups and downs, but I haven't
Yeah.
plateaued. I haven't plateaued yet.
Hey, that's what matters, because a lot of times with social media, you can get down on yourself for not hitting PRs, or feel like you're getting stronger because you're bombarded with, that's all people put out there is these strength feats and these PRs and these PBs of things, and you're just like, I'm like, it almost like gets in your head where you feel as though you're not working as hard as you could.
Yeah,
That's not the case. It's just, everyone is out there doing different things, and there's people out there PRing, don't get me wrong, but it's the grind that goes into it, that it's the journey, and it's for something that I tell everyone, like, hitting your personal best or hitting a personal record, like, that doesn't happen all the time. Like, the
yeah,
conditions almost have to be really good,
perfect.
yeah, for those things to happen, and then you're throwing on, like, I'm doing metcons and conditioning and different pieces on top of that. So like, there's other factors involved, but it seems though grid keeps throwing different things at you, but you're able to figure out how to do them and rise, and you're adding depth and to the roster for the palms. And I would say if you ask Briley, what can Sam do? She would probably say everything.
I mean, she knows my strengths and weaknesses pretty well. Um, but yeah, like I said earlier, I'm not always positive, but I like to look at the little things. Just like you said, it's it's not like rainbows and butterflies over
No.
here where I'm PRing every day. I'll do a squat with no pain, and I'm like, I'll take it. Like that's a win.
When.
So I definitely focus on the little things. And I set goals. Like I'll set goals in my training and work little by little. They could be short term, they could be long term. But I feel like everyone is very sucked into the instant gratification thing. So um but yeah,
They
whatever Bradley
don't.
assigns me,
Yeah,
I'm
you
trying
just do.
to
You just say, you know what? I'm just blessed to have the opportunity to do whatever you ask me to do.
Yep, I'm just happy to be here.
That's got to be a good feeling when coaches put trust in you to do certain things because they believe in you. And like,
Yeah.
as silly as it sounds, like I think a lot of athletes, they believe in themselves, but it always, like, there's this doubt, and having a coach say that they believe in you almost just really solidifies how what they should feel about themselves, which,
Oh, for sure. For
because I'm confident there's not a single thing that she's going to assign you that you can't do. But like, how you feel, your routine, like, did I wake up late? Am I running behind? Like, all those little things get in your head. So like, having your coach just go, man, you got this. Like, that
yeah,
that makes the biggest difference. But
the whole team too. The whole
yeah,
team support, and just like to piggyback off what you said, the believing in each other and things like that is amazing. Like I've been on a team sport my whole life, so being an adult and having it is really awesome. And then we're also honest. Like we don't. I would say the Palms. I'm not really sure about other teams, but the Palms specifically really try not to, like ego lift. I would say like, oh, I could do all 30, no problem, and then they do it and they die out and they have 10 more and they're shit the bed and then we lose. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So we break things up appropriately to what people can, honestly handle.
Yeah.
And it, like, we just are like the definition of a team. It's really great to have, I got your back, you got my back. I
So
like it a lot.
yeah, with that being the mentality, so let's think about this. Obviously, last season you come up a little bit short. It's basically you go out in that last regular season match to earn a playoff spot. It was it was a long shot. Let's be real. Like you had to win, which you did, but the point differential was so high. Like you would have had to just like every little thing would have had to work out perfectly. But you come up short in points and you don't make the playoffs. Like when you look back at that season, what is the takeaway?
For me personally, I would say, I mean, I like to go to practice. So if we have a practice, I'll show up, and everyone's been really good about that because we have people from out of state, as well, and they'll come in on a Zoom call and practice with us and things like that. So like practice, getting together and practicing is a huge thing. Um, just like the preparation individually. So outside of practice, like, are you working on your own assignments, things like that. So for me, um, I just want to grind even more. I just want to like put my head down and get even more into it. So it's like one of those things. Who's gonna work harder for it? Who wants it more? So um, we were there. We have the spirit. We have the talent. It's just like closing the deal.
And
So
that's hard to do. I mean, it seems silly, but if you're in sports long enough, you realize it is difficult to win.
hmm
And that's just individual matches or games. It's even harder to win it all. And so um, when you know the season's come to an end, like, do you immediately know you're going to resign, or are you questioning it? Like, what is the off season like once it's over? Like, what's that look like?
it depends, because like in the past I've been like, oh, I think this is my last year. In the past,
Yeah.
a few years ago, I was like, oh, this is probably it. But definitely after last year being so close to winning, I knew it automatic. Like I'm not done. Like I'm not done yet. So uh especially how I'm feeling. I just turned 30. My body's feeling good. Training's well. Like I'm settled in my career. Like I'm prepared to take on grid and like commit more to it.
You're
So
you're you're ready to excel. Like you're at
yeah,
that spot in life where you like as a kid, like you're like, God, I don't
this is
want to go
where
to school today. Like, God, I don't want to do this. And then you get there and you realize this is the feeling. Like I get to do more now,
yeah.
So it's you worked hard to get there. You deserve all the fruits that come from the labor to get there.
Thank you.
Um, yeah. What is your personal goal for this coming up season? I mean, have you been working on getting better at anything since during
Yeah,
the off season?
yeah. I would say a personal goal of mine, which I haven't talked to Briley about this, but I I want to like get more involved in gymnastics. Not that I want to do anything crazy, but like for example, triad. I don't want to have to come out for a gymnastics movement. I want to stay in and complete it because I'm always in for the strength, the barbell, this, that, pistols or whatever. But I want to be out there for pullovers and things like that. So that's definitely a goal of mine, something that I'm working on. I want to like add more to my skills. So
Gotcha. I mean, don't we all? Like, I would
I
love
know.
to be able to do like some triple touches and just be able to just,
Yep.
you know, put a med ball between my legs and walk on my hands and walk
Mm-hmm.
pull a sled while walking on like just silly things. Like,
But
but obviously that's something that you guys, you have to prepare for because you don't know what's coming and what's not. I mean, who knows? You might even see a log ladder this year. I don't know. Maybe you
Yep.
might even see a handstand walk, stairway, ramp.
Yep.
That's I'm not trying to like throw spoilers out there, but these are things that y'all know. This is just in the circle. People know
That
what's up. Um,
rumors.
you
Rumors.
know, definitely. But if the Palms are going to compete for a championship and they make the playoffs and they're right there, what is it that you guys did differently?
In order to win, you're saying?
Yeah, so like to give yourself a chance to win a championship. So let's say in order to make the playoffs and be in the mix to win it all, like what do you have to do differently from last year?
I would say the two like key things in the moment, like during the race, is one, communication, right? I think we could have. We communicate really well as it is, but again, these races come down to split seconds. There's very little room for error. So one second of a misstep or communication like that could have been the extra point we needed. So communication and good reps, like not getting any no reps.
Yep.
If we get, sorry, the light is having a
No, it's
moment. But if we get one no rep, that's a huge deal, especially depending on the movement, because some movements are complex and the movement takes 15 seconds alone.
right. It's hard
So
to it's hard to maintain ground if you're ahead, but it's even harder to make up ground when you're behind because now you could move flawlessly. You have to hope the other team doesn't, and that's really hard because what you don't want to do, you want to control what you can control. You don't want to worry about having the other team do things wrong.
right.
And in grid, you know how it is, a fault here, a fault there, it all adds up, and like seconds, milliseconds are the difference between winning a race and just finishing. And for you guys, if you take some of those finishes and turn them into wins, like really, if you look back at last season, if you're talking about 5 points, it's three different opportunities. Like
Yep.
possibly, I mean, five if the other team is finishing, but three at the very least
Hmm.
get gets you in. So like it's a very like small sample size of what you guys need to do.
We totally could have like had that. So it's possible. It's like right at the tips of our fingers. Like it's within reach. So it's not like, and especially with some of the new signs that we have coming in, I think we have a really good shot um, at like coming together, being cohesive, communicating well, moving really well. Because the famous saying that I learned from being on the Freaks, uh, fast is smooth and smooth is fast. Or what
Yeah,
is it? Is that what it is? Is that how you
I
say
think so. Yeah,
it? So, um, if you try to go fast, you're gonna mess up. Just nice and easy, nice and slow, and you're good.
absolutely. So when you look at what are you looking forward to most this season? Is it just being
Um,
back and competing, or is it being with certain players? Is it
yeah.
having new people? Like what is it?
I love all the team stuff, all the practices. I love getting together. Even I'm excited to go to Dallas and like have a weekend away with my whole team, and I think we're gonna get a big Airbnb and like have some like really good team bonding and just catching up with everyone because again, a lot of people are out of state, so the only time I see them is during grid. So it's nice when we're all together. We all have big different personalities, and but we all get along really well. So it's just a fun time. We have a lot of fun on the
Absolutely.
grid. So
So May 24th, it's in your backyard. You got the brigade. What are the what are the thoughts about the brigade? You get a chance for I don't know how the brigade look at it yet. I'll find that out this weekend, but do I wonder if they're like, oh, they beat us to end even though they made the playoffs, do they hold on to that? Do you think? Is that like some motivation?
1000% for sure. If you've lost to a team, honestly, ever, but like recently within the past season, that there's definitely a little bit of animosity, just like some type of tension, not necessarily in a bad way, but it gets aggressive out there for sure. Um, so I already know they're gonna bring it, and they're gonna be on their A game. They're definitely feeling the exactly what you just said, just head to head. Because when the Freaks existed, their major rival, were the Lions. So like, I don't want to say we're like major rivals with them, but um, you know, if you've lost in the past, you definitely have some, not bad blood, but just aggression.
Yeah.
So
So are y'all ready, or are y'all still fine tuning some things?
my team, the Palms,
Yeah.
we're definitely fine tuning. We
Yeah.
have a practice next weekend. So I'm excited for that. We're finally going to come together and try out some things, and um, definitely meeting the new people and getting the new people up to speed. So we're still fine tuning, but I think we'll be good to go.
Nice. I mean, you got a little over a month. I mean, that's plenty of time to get it in check, get your communication right, just kind of get an idea of where people are going to fit in, what the roles are. You got the Wild, you've got the Lions, you got the Breakers, all matches this season. Any one match that you're looking most forward to, or is it just whoever's in front of you?
Yeah, I just kind of take it one step at a time. I'm looking forward to championships. That's
Let's
that's
go.
the match I'm looking forward to. I just want to like focus on what's in front of me, the match at hand, and win every one. And then by the time we get to championships, again, same thing. You dial in, you know exactly what you need to do. And I mean, the best thing I would say, my best moments with the Palms during a match is when you look at somebody, right? No verbal communication. You look at somebody and they need you to do their reps, or you guys need to switch, or someone else needs to go in because this person is dead tired or whatever, and you just do it because it's like it's almost instinct at that point you
Yeah,
know
it's like I got you. But
yeah.
I will say that's probably the tricky part about having new players and even bringing players back because everyone's constantly getting better. Thresholds hopefully are expanding, but like you got to know when you look at somebody and because they don't necessarily know, but you can see it like they're not moving the way that they need to, and it's
Right.
costing the team when you know that you could step in or someone else can step in and move faster to
Right.
get you and keep you where you need to be. And that's very tricky to do because it just takes a lot of practice and knowing the players.
Yeah, exactly. So like getting together and practicing and being honest about your abilities is huge.
Yeah.
Like, can you do 20 front squats at 155 extremely fast, in less than 20 seconds? Can you do that? Honestly, twice. you know? So it's like, and that's just an example because that's my homework. That's one of my homeworks. But, it's just, and sometimes you have to be like, no, I can't do it. I can do 12. I can
Yeah.
do 15. Like you got to be honest about your abilities. And that way other people can step in if needed. Because just like you said, sometimes it's not better for me to slow down and do them slow. You know?
Right. Yeah. And
So,
and you can't have that ego where it's I have to do all 20 because that's not really the case. It's like, well, if you can do 15 or 12 at a really good pace, like that's helpful. That's beneficial. if we can bring someone in to move just as fast as that to finish it up, like we're still good, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think a lot of people, and I think this is the one thing that I think CrossFit kind of makes people believe is like there's this level of unbrokenness, this stigma of doing things unbroken.
Yeah.
When in reality, like, yeah, it's great and it's fast, but like if you're form and you're slow as shit, like doing it unbroken doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well stop, regroup, pick it up again, and then continue, because doing it that way is probably going to mean that you're a little bit faster in the long run. But
Yeah, exactly.
it's going to be a interesting season. I'm looking forward to it. I think I've been saying this. I don't know how true it is, but I think 2025 is the most anticipated United Grid League season yet.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
could
1000% agree.
I could make a case for a lot of storylines in week one that I'm looking forward to seeing. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but Sam, I appreciate you spending some time with us. I know you got to get back to the grind. Anything that you want to plug or promote before you get out of here?
No, nothing crazy. Do you want to do grid? You want to
Do
play?
I? So no, I'm too old, one, and I'm not near strong enough or talented enough
Oh,
to do
okay.
grid. So I just do my
Figured.
CrossFit. I help out, with the brigade on the side, and I'm totally content with that. If if they
Gotcha,
need
gotcha.
me to stand in, or if they need me, you guys are not going to have a problem on May 24th. Let's just say that.
All right, so I'll see you out there on the grid. Well, not on the grid, but I'll see you May 24th.
I'll be somewhere in the vicinity.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, Sam. May 24th is going down. I wish you the best of luck. Stay healthy, stay safe. Y'all have fun when you guys get together. Get it right. That way we have a really good matchup on the 24th. So,
Heck yeah.
But with that, if there's anything I can do for you, reach out. I'll be happy to help.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. That is Sam Secord of the South Beach Palms, everybody. If you like Sam's story, or you just like hearing us average Joes talk X's and O's, please like, share the podcast on Facebook. Do me a big favor. Go to the Instagram at Grid in Grind Show. Follow, like, do it all. There's a lot of good stuff on it. Go to YouTube, like, subscribe, notifications. That way you're first to know when new content is dropped, because it's being dropped like it's hot all the time. And with that, we will see everybody tomorrow. Got a big interview with Kyle Massey of the Tampa Bay Brigade. So we'll see y'all next time. Y'all be good. If you can't be good, be safe. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We're out.